The Carved EDC Dark got my wife to buy me a knife, and that alone might be its most impressive feature. But once I got this thing in hand, I realized that it's more than just a pretty face. Titanium, Damascus, and a one-of-a-kind wood and resin inlay definitely make it stand out. But how does it work for actual EDC? Especially considering Carved is known more for their phone cases than their knives. Well, let's take a look. Now, before we dive in, I do want to point out that Carved actually has two knife models. The other is called the EDC Pocket Knife. The one that we're looking at here is called the EDC Dark. So, what do you get? You get a 3-inch blade and a 7.43-inch overall length, and the weight is going to come in at 3 ounces. For the blade, you can either get a coated 14C28N steel, so that is, your standard black coated blade, or you can get Damascus, which, as you can see here, my wife opted for Damascus, and that would have been my preference. And I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Damascus steel, and that's for one reason. Most manufacturers don't tell you what the component steels are, and that's even, well-known knife manufacturers. But Carved bucks that trend. This is a VG10 core, and the cladding steel is 316L and 5CR15 MOV. So nothing to write home about on the cladding layers, but again, those aren't doing the heavy lifting. It's the core that's doing the heavy lifting as far as the cutting and the edge retention, and a VG10 core is a great option for that. Now, the handle is the star of the show, though, because it is a titanium handle, and more importantly, it has the wood and resin inlay. Now, each of these designs is unique, and when you're shopping on the site, you will actually get to see the specific design that you are buying. It's not going to be a generic picture. You will actually be looking at the grain and everything of the design that you are buying. Now, mine, each one gets a name for the design, and a lot of them are like, very fancy or exotic names. Mine was just called Bob, which I thought was super fitting for this because it's a very understated design, but the green resin really kind of brings out some character in that wood burl, and I just absolutely love the look. But I'll show some options here that they have online right now at the time of recording, just so you can see they have a lot of different colors, different designs, things like that, including some that are just straight up wood burl with no resin. But you're going to pay $150 for these, which for what you're getting materials wise, I think is fairly reasonable. And everybody's going to have their own opinion on that, but I don't think $150 is an unreasonable price for that. So, enough about the specs and the materials. Let's talk about the actual overall design and the ergos. So the lock on this is a button lock, and it is a traditional button lock, the plunge lock. It is not a button liner lock, which would have been my preference. But again, especially coming from a non-knife company, it's kind of expected. Now, it's easy to operate one-handed, and as you can see, it drops shut very easily. I am actually pretty impressed with it in that regard. The lockup is solid. There is no blade play that I have noticed at all. Really solid lock, I think. Only having a flipper for deployment is not my favorite, just because I prefer a thumb stud or a thumb hole most of the time. But it also does fit the aesthetic of the knife because it makes it a lot sleeker. Almost all the blade is inside of the handle that way. So I definitely get it. And ergonomically, I think it's a pretty neutral design. They didn't go crazy with the contouring or anything like that. There is a little slot here for your finger to come into. And the handle is plenty big for my extra large hands. As you can see, I'm getting a full 4-finger grip. The one thing, it doesn't have any jimping on the back, which is a personal preference thing, but I mean, it also, again, it does fit the aesthetic of the knife. It's supposed to be kind of a sleeker, more gentlemanly design, so I understand why they did that. There's no texturing, so it's going to be a bit slicker, so you're not going to be wanting to use it for hard work where you're going to need a lot more grip on the knife, but again, it is what it is. It doesn't have any hot spots for me in use. The pocket clip hasn't presented any problems with that. The edges are just rounded off or chamfered enough that they really, I haven't had any issues with that. So it's comfortable for normal use is what I'd say. Now, the one kind of oddity for me is the grind. So it starts out thinner up at the top here and kind of bulges out in the center and then thins back down for the primary grind. I think that was probably done to get that design in the Damascus, just to give it a little bit more character. So I get that. And I guess you could call this a swedge up here. It's the closest thing that I could come up with to call it. But it just is kind of an odd design to me, just because of the fact that it starts thin, bulges out, and comes back thin. Um, and again, I think they had a reason for doing it, but it's just not a super practical grind as far as I'm concerned. It still works as a knife for sure, but it just wouldn't be my first choice as far as a functional grind. So what about carrying this thing? So as far as carry goes, with the titanium and wood resin construction, it's not going to be particularly thin or lightweight, but it's not going to weigh your pocket down too much, and it's not overly bulky. It's definitely not the heaviest or the thickest knife that I own. The pocket clip not being deep carry is definitely a knock for me, because I much prefer deep carry. I'll bring out the pocket simulator here, and as you can see, it does stick up a bit out of the pocket. Oh, it does not want to go down in that pocket. There we go. It does stick up a bit out of the pocket, which to me would be less of an issue if, you know, there was like an insert on this side where you could see the character of it and everything. But as it is, you're not showing off anything by it sticking out of the pocket like that. So you're not really taking advantage of like one of the cool things about the knife in that. So I would prefer that it was deep carry. I may experiment with some other brands' clips just to see if there are any that happen to fit it. But not the end of the world. It's just, you know, kind of a personal preference thing. So as far as the real world uses for this thing, it is a bit more of a showpiece for sure, but it can still do knife work. I wasn't expecting a ton out of it, and I haven't pushed it really hard, honestly. But it'll handle your normal day-to-day tasks like opening packages, cutting zip ties, cutting tags, or cutting string, you know, the stuff that you would normally expect a knife to do. It can handle slicing tasks, but that odd grind kind of makes it less than ideal for that. Like, this wouldn't be my first choice to cut fruit or something like that. But pretty much anything that you would normally use a gentleman's knife for, this will be a good option for. So as far as the build quality, the overall fit and finish on this, I would say, is pretty solid, especially considering that it is coming from a non-knife company. There's no gaps where there shouldn't be or anything like that. The blade centering was spot on. The inlay is well done, and it is level with the handle. And one quality thing is the button does have a little bit of stick to it when you press it. It's not bad. I've actually had knives that are definitely worse than that, and it has kind of loosened up over time. So it may really break into the point where it really doesn't have that stick anymore, but just something that I kind of noticed. But for being more of a showpiece, I also wouldn't mind seeing a bit more intricate of a pattern in the Damascus as well. In fact, I will bring out one of my favorite Damascus knives in the Civivi Cubit. I would love to see a little bit more intricate design like this has in the Damascus, but just for a point of comparison. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with this Damascus design, just I would like to see a little bit more out of it since it is more of a showpiece. So as far as comparisons with this one, I tried to bring out some knives that are a little bit more of that classy or gentleman's feel to it. So I have the Kizer Drop Bear, which this isn't as much of a gentleman's knife, but with the aluminum scales and everything like that, and the size, I thought it was a great comparison. I also have the Vosteed Martin, which is going to be a fairly similar size, although a bit smaller. And the Kizer Original, which this is the original. This is not the original 2. This one, I believe, is discontinued. I don't think you can get the original anymore. And last but not least, probably the one that came closest to the EDC Dark as far as, you know, having that really cool design. This is the Civivi Elementum slip joint. So those are some pretty good size comparisons, just to give you an idea of where it sits as far as the size. So the pros and cons of this knife. The number one pro, for me, is a truly, truly unique, one-of-a-kind design. There are not gonna be any scales that are exactly like this. This one is mine, and I absolutely love it in that sense, especially because it was a gift, but even if I'd paid my own money for this, I think that's really, really cool. The titanium and the VG10 core Damascus steel, I think, is a very, very solid combo for the price. The button lock is simple and user-friendly and finger safe, and overall, I think this is just a very giftable design. And I'm not just saying that because my wife gave it to me as a gift, but it is very much a giftable design. As far as the cons, the action and the lock are just okay. They're nothing to write home about. It's still more style focused than it's focused on performance, which again, it is kind of what you're getting. The odd blade grind is definitely a con for me. I wish they would have just done more of like a full flat grind or something like that. Most knife enthusiasts are probably going to expect a little bit more for the price as far as, a higher end steel or something like that. And it is kind of an unknown heat treat quality because there isn't really any data out there on this right now. And last but not least, one thing that bugged me a little bit is the lack of transparency on the nation of origin. So they tout that these are assembled in Elkhart, Indiana, but they're less forthcoming about where the parts are sourced from, because they just say that they're sourced from abroad. Now, they don't directly state it, but my probably safe guess is that the materials are sourced from China. And that'll matter for some people and not for others. It wasn't a huge deal for me. I just wish they were more transparent about it more than anything else. So, the ultimate question, would I EDC this knife? The answer is probably not, but only in the strictest sense of EDC, and that I wouldn't carry it every day. For me, this is going to be more of what I would call an SOC, or a special occasion carry. And I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm going to call it that, and I'm going to run with it. Now, I think it really comes down to the practicality of the design. The blade has kind of an odd grind, the handle doesn't have a ton of grip, and I'd prefer a lock that's a bit more robust than a plunge lock. So as a knife, it's kind of meh. But as a whole package, when you want something classy to match the occasion, I think this definitely has a place in my collection. But what about you? Would you carry the EDC Dark from Carved, or would it be more of a safe queen for you? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this review, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next video.